Rushes it. This is back. Will it go? It's over the outfielder. One run's going to score. It's a 2-1 ball game. How you going, Chelsea Cohen? It's a leadoff triple for the Cats. Will this drop coming on a fantastic diving catch? Are you kidding me? Swing and a miss. No hitter. No hitter.
Well, welcome to West Beach for the softball SA coverage on Spacequake Sports. James Harris coming to you live, and alongside of me is Lee Hull. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, James, and it's good afternoon, everybody, and it's quite a pleasant day down here at West Beach, and so we're looking forward to this game, but not quite as much as what we were, because Walkerville have four major players out from their side today, so for one reason or another, so that will change things around. And we were looking, James, to the matchup of the pitchers, Snyder versus Hood, Georgia.
I got to admit, I'm a little disappointed. We were hoping to see a battle of a pitching duel, not only off the mound but in the batter's box as well. Schneider and Georgia Hood are the team's best batters, and to come up against, you know, the two of the better pitchers in the competition as well would have been, you know, we were salivating, weren't we, prior to the game?
But I'm sure it'll happen as the season goes on. And what a season we're having. It started off being a little bit one-sided, some of the games, but now draws, tight finishes, surprising results like last Wednesday night. Glenelg over West Torrens, 8 runs to 3. Who would have picked that?
Their first win of the year, bottom team facing against probably the strongest lineup in the competition, albeit without two key players, Lana Kaysler and Carly Allen. And of course the other result was Port Adelaide defeating Sturt, and you know, you could probably go back 5 years or longer for the last time that happened. So some very interesting results, Lee, as you mentioned. Listen, the Walkerville Cats have just taken the diamond. They're going through their 5 warm-up pitches. The umpires and coaches have met pre-game. You've got the umpires listed there, Lee.
Yes, it's on plate Mick Bendel. First base is Kevin Tannebring, and at third, Jackie Crafter.
Last time these two teams met, Lee, just 10 days ago, and it was all Walkerville. It was a 10-0 victory. However, it was a Wednesday night, which means that Georgia Hood wasn't playing, and she, of course, adds offensive and defensive talent to the Hills Heat side. Flip side of that was the first round these two met, and it was all Hills. It was 10-3 here on Spacequake Sports. We brought you that game, and wow, it's just two different games within, you know, a couple of weeks of, or about 6 or 8 weeks of each other. What are we expecting today? I mean, when Snyder's playing centre field here, so, you know, the Hills have already proven that they can hit Sally.
Well, if Gabby's half as good as Vicky McFarlane, the other American that plays centre field, everybody will be happy.
We've got some star-studded centre fielders, haven't we, in the competition? We saw Maddie Cameron up to the challenge on Wednesday night against Port Adelaide. So Schneider had, sorry, not Schneider, it was McFarlane, who had 2 line drives to Cameron, and she was up to the task. Anyway, let's get back onto this game. We've got the Walkerville Cats facing the Hills Heat, and leading off the game for the Heat is catcher Amber Hood. Holquist low in the zone for ball 1 now. Players to watch out for in this game include Amber Hood. She's the leader of this team. She's the catcher of this team. She's, you know, one of the most experienced players in this team, 19 years of age.
7 of them under 19 years of age.
In the Hills lineup, yep.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Holquist gets that one in the zone, and Hood fouls that one off. So we've got a 1-1 count. Amber led the team in their comeback victory over Seacombe last Saturday. It was on the Spacequake Sports game. Seacombe were in control of the game. Amber Hood leads off the inning with a shot. She scores. She comes around and she bats a second time. Gets a piece of that ball, chops it to second base. Karen Dale it is. Not in time. And Amber Hood gets an infield single to lead off the game.
Certainly, and what a good start for the Hills team.
Great start. She's got pace. She's got a few stolen bases this season as well. So not only Amber Hood hitting 435, but she's got 4 stolen bases. Pippa Atkins has got the ability to lay a bunt down, but she can also go long ball. She's hit a home run early in the season. In fact, the first time these teams played. High for ball 1, Amber stays put on first base.
Pippa's a strong player, obviously by the length of some of the shots that we've seen from her this year, James, and terrific future, as we've spoken about. 7 people in the Hills lineup under 19 years of age. Tells you a story there.
Yeah.
We're going to see these people again and again.
And the youngest is Abby Ballard, starting at shortstop. How about that? 15 years age.
Yes, no Kim Cutting today.
So another youngster, Benithan, gives a signal to the pitcher in Colquist. Hood takes off on the pitch. That's close. That's very close. Desi Giamarellis at shortstop for the Cats, pleading a case. But Hood slides in and gets herself safe. We're going to get a closer look on this on the replay. Colquist gets into her motion. Hood takes off, but Benithan gets a good throw off. That was as close as they come. Great call from umpire Crafter. Okay, so a couple of balls on the batter.
Then.
And Atkins aggressively gets after this pitch with the runner in scoring position. Now, this is where you want your leadoff runner with no outs on second base. Scoring position, any contact should see the runner get to third, and then gives perhaps one of the best batters in the competition an opportunity to score the runner. Atkins pulls this ball to the right side. That's where you want it to advance the runner, evening up the count of 2-2. Now, Atkins hitting 259, exceptional for a first-year A-grade player.
And batting in the number 2 spot too. I think 259's fine.
7 hits for the year, so she's doing exceptionally well. Squares up, pulls back, but that's going to be a simple pop-up fly ball to second base. So Karen Dale in the action once again, making the first out for the Cats. Now, we've seen, we'll go through the lineup in a moment, Lee, but we can see a lot of changes made to the Walkerville lineup due to a few key outs. Chelsea Robinson probably being the number 1. That pulls Hayley Benithan into the catching position. Georgia Hood aggressively gets up to the first pitch, nearly takes out. Pete Tonkin just minding his own business, walking over to the back diamond for today's clash between Glenelg and Sturt. So foul ball and strike 1 on Georgia Hood. So showing her intention early. Leaves that one on the outside. Geez, if she'd gone with that one, that would have been over the right fielder. Erin Reid's head for sure.
Yes,
Georgia Hood, one of the powerhouses of the competition. She's hitting 667, but her slugging average, Lee, 1,056.
That's reasonable, you'd think.
Smashes it right side, and Erin Reid's going to get a play there. So fumbles and it gets by her. That's going to score Amber Hood, and Georgia's going to stand up at second on the error. Run would have scored, Lee, an outfield shot, Amber Hood's speed on second, so the run would have scored anyhow. But
yeah, I think so, but in that position, playing deep, she's not going to get a 9-3, so she just needs to knock the ball to the ground, keep the ball in front of her. She didn't, but I think Amber probably would have scored in fairness. But
Georgia would have been staying at first, but so she's now in scoring position for Danny Perez, who takes a called strike. Now, Danny, another one of the younger crew that we have in the Hills Heat lineup, and she's hitting 261. Again, exceptional for a first-year A-grade player.
Yeah, they came together from Sturt, 2 Sturt juniors, Pippa and
in the box. And we've seen a few of those this season.
A few of those lately, I think.
So that's not bad. I mean, they're getting contact, they're getting the ball on the ground. It's better than fouling the ball up, maybe even giving an opportunity for the defense to catch it. But the execution of these bunts just needs to be out in front just a little bit. She changes the tactic and pops up to right field, and Erin Reid camps under it for a catch in the second out of the inning. So we've got Georgia Hood still on second base, and bringing up to bat is Emily Hopkins. Now, Emily, an absolute outstanding season this year, hitting 412. for the Hills Heat. Definitely one of the leaders of the team. Was eligible for under-19 selection this year, but chose to play schoolgirls instead. Interesting
choice.
Interesting choice, but nevertheless, it's her own. Year 12 studies this year as well may be a contributing factor to that. But Emily is a powerhouse, so she's pulled that first pitch. So the aggressive intent from the Heat continues.
Goes all the way down, doesn't it? The aggression.
Low for ball one. So a 1-1 count. Hills Heat looking to put another run on the board. So an early run, 1-0 in the top of the first. Obviously the Cats get their opportunity to respond. At the bottom of the inning, they get the last chance today. High for ball two. Emily checks.
And don't you love that as the opposing pitcher, like in Georgia Hood's case, you get a run from your offence in the first part of the innings, first half of the innings, and then you can back it up with some good pitching.
If you can get the job done offensively, it takes a lot of pressure off the defence from the start. I mean, yes, it's only one run, but the point being is that you've got the game off to a start. You know, you've got that first run of the game, and you can pitch with a little bit more relaxation and just get the job done rather than being tight. Pulls the ball to the third base. Sophie Roberts comes up with a play, brings off first base Alex Pasenko to take the ball, and the runner obviously can't advance when the ball's hit straight to third base, but Emily Hopkins hit the ball hard enough to apply that defensive pressure or offensive pressure on the defense, and Sophie Roberts knocks the ball down, probably saved a base, putting the force on, so not too much damage done there.
No, and Alex Mackey's a dangerous player as well. So
yeah, we spoke pre-game. She's part of the under-19 state team crew that they have. They've got a few of those players, and Mackey having a season with Seacombe last year would be one of the leaders of this team.
Yes. Good head on the shoulders, but I'd still have my right fielder come in now with 2 out. In case that...
Chasing a high ball. There might be a play here for Benythan. She gets her hands up and makes a great catch right in front of us there, Lee. Hayley Benythan ending the inning for the Hills Heat. So they had 2 hits. You know, they had 3 base runners. They scored that run, which was the lead-off hit from Amber Hood. The infield single it was, and we watched that replay, and Benythan just really did well to get to that ball. So they're tricky, those ones that go straight up, because they got the back spin on the ball, and a great catch in the end from Hayley Benythan.
Switched on player, Hayley Benythan. Doesn't matter what position she plays, she's switched on, and that's a big plus.
Okay, we'll go through the Walkerville lineup when they come out for the second fielding inning, but I'll get you to go through the Hills lineup, Lee. It's a little different to perhaps what we're expecting, but...
Okay, so at first base, Emily Hopkins. On the other side, it's Danny Perez at third. The pivots are Abby Ballard comes in the shortstop in place of Kim Cutting, and Alex Mackey is at second. The outfield from left to right, Meg Chaplin comes in. I don't know much about Meg, so you may need to fill me in sometime, James. Pepper Adkins going from first base to centre field, and Michelle Davis, who had a very good game last game, I believe, goes to right field. And the battery, of course, of the Hilltop Hoods. Amber to Georgia to Amber. Too many of them.
Yeah.
Mother coaches as well. That's 3 of them. Surely there's some more coming.
So you mentioned Meg Chaplin. So she's playing at left field, a Hills representative at state championships for a number of years now. We won't give away too much, but she's accomplished player, and she wouldn't be in this Hills Heat lineup if she wasn't, because Coach Hood and her able assistant Mandy Hopkins would want to bring the best talent from the Hills down, and that's what we see here today, and a great example of that is young shortstop Abby Ballard. Hopefully we'll see her make some terrific plays today.
Well, that's fantastic. fantastic rundown, and so now we all know about it.
So Georgia Hood gets that, fires in the first pitch there. They had a little bit of heat on that, some heels heat on that for strike one low in the zone. Now, just an interesting point on Abby Ballard is that she's left-handed in the infield. You don't see that too often, perhaps only from a first baser. But occasionally you will see a left-handed infield. It just goes to show the confidence that the Hills coaches have for Abby, and that ability that she must have, being that left-hander, makes it just that little bit harder for her to make those plays.
Yeah, yeah, and that's for obvious reasons. Usually left-handers, you like them at first, outfield, catcher, pitcher, if they can pitch, that is.
So Hood and Benithan doing battle here at a 2-2 count. Benithan has watched all 4 pitches, and I've got to admit, a couple of low strikes called, but you know the umpiring zone of Mick Bendel has always been consistent. Change up is the pitch of choice for the Hood sisters on that occasion, and Benithan fouling that one off for her first swing of the game and leading off for Walkerville. So bottom of the first, it's a 2-2 count for Benithan. High for ball 3 and a full count now. So Benithan in the action. She took that last play of the first inning for the Hills Heat. A great catch. Now
Good
she's
turn at bat. This
got herself to a full count. High, but she gets bat on ball now. You don't mind that. If you're swinging for a pitch, you go for it with full intent, and that way, if it goes into play, it's you're going to have plenty of it.
Yeah,
so,
it looked like she was half checking on that one.
Yeah,
from here.
Coaches don't mind that. Coaches don't mind seeing a swing on a pitch that might be out of the zone as long as you make contact, and she's fouled that one off. So she's still alive in this count. Chops at that one and it goes foul. So protecting her zone well here, Benithan. This is a great battle from 2 young stars of the competition. Under 19 teammates, of course. So Hayley will get her opportunity to catch to Georgia at the National Championships, which will be in Blacktown this January, Lee. So excitement's building for these state representatives. Their opportunity to represent their state is coming up soon.
Well, that's 3 identical shots at the ball then, and finish in the same place.
And the pitches have been similar area as well. So high in the zone, and Benithan able to negotiate. Let's see how she goes here. Maybe a different pitch from the Hoods. High again. Oh, that one's hit the knob of the bat. I thought it hit the elbow.
I thought she was attempting the knob bunt, which we used to play years ago, James, off slow pitches, I might.
Well, Benithan's pitch selection on that is terrific. Her hands were going towards the ball, which is exactly what you want your player to be doing, but it hit the knob of the bat, and she earns herself a walk. Well deserved. What we have about 8 or 9 pitches on that at bat, and Hayley Benithan. Well done, young lady. She's got herself on base. She's had a few walks this season. She's got her share of hits and 407 on base average. So she's earned a chance to lead off in Chelsea Robinson's absence.
Exactly.
Let's see how she moves around the bases. Great little bunt there from Erin Reid. It was a push bunt. And there was a little bit of excitement over at first base, but Alex Mackey makes the play. A pretty good play from Emily Hopkins as well to get that, because it was the push bunt from Erin Reid. It nearly got by her as she was charging in for the play, and that's one out with the runner in scoring position now for the 3-4 in the lineup. And gee, Desi Morales, hasn't she had a great season, hitting .438. She's got 7 RBIs.
Very consistent player, very consistent hitter.
Had 7 walks as well, Lee, so she's her on-base average is through the roof at 750. She has been having a season here, Lee. Very experienced player, very well respected amongst the A-grade teams as well. Had her share of accolades. She's represented the state in her younger days, but she is just showing that age is just a number here, Lee.
Yes, so I've been told.
Takes that one for strike 1. So she got herself into a good hitting count, 2 balls and 1 strike, and Coach Tomlinson giving the signals here. This is still a good hitting count. Oh, high. Looked a little high to start, but it's caught the top of the zone. It came through about belt height, which is, of course, well within the strike zone, Lee, at a 2-2 count now. Benaithan on second base, moved around from the Aaron Reid bunt. That high inside pitch, these Walkerville batters are up to the task, Lee. They're staying alive in the count. Obviously, a tactic they may have looked at. You know, these Space Quake games giving teams an opportunity to review their opposition, and I know Seacombe coach Scott Radigan watches each of these games intently. Danny Perez makes a good play, and G. Morales nearly found the gap there. The 5-6 hole's a tough one to come up with. That would have suited the left-handed Ballard. But she's done well to field that ball. She's held the runner up. We're watching the replay here. It was a change-up. Perez held the runner up well, checked the runner, and fired it across to first base in Emily Hopkins for the second out. So now it's Schneider for the Cats.
And this girl can bat.
Gee, that one had some heat on it from Georgia.
Took off, didn't it?
It was high and out of the zone, and Schneider not wanting any part of that. So we saw her bat a couple of times now here on Space Quake Sports. She's got very good hands, dangerous left-handed hitter, which is some good variation for the lineup for Coach Tomlinson. She can count on this left-handed batter in the meat of the order. And a left-handed batter as well, which will earn her a share of walks, no doubt. As I look at the statistics, she hasn't walked once this season, but you know she's way ahead of the count here, 3-0, and she's hitting .444, so she's fitted in, slotted in very well to this Cats lineup.
And quickly.
Ball 4, so a 4-ball walk. We see that the courtesy runner for the 2-out catch a speed-up rule on second base is Aaron Reid, and Schneider becomes the second base runner for the Cats and puts a force onto third base. So after that bunt from the second batter, the runner hasn't advanced just yet. So Sophie Roberts now the hitter, trying to do the job for the Cats. Now Sophie Roberts is a dual representative here for South Australia this season, under 17s and under 19s. So she is going to have a jam-packed January. Gets a go at this ball. This one's got to fall short of the outfielder. Pippa Atkins has to come in diving for the ball, and she just muffs it. Left-handed Ballard comes up with the throw. The tag is made on the hand, but she's safe. The runners advance on the throw to second and third. The replay is going to show us the action here, Lee. The pop-up from Roberts is going to fall short of centre fielder Pippa Atkins. We don't see that play, unfortunately, but the throw to home is a second look from behind the catcher. Great effort to get there, just on the edge of the dirt. Ballard picks up the ball that's spilled. That tag, what a close play.
Yeah, it was close. Amber was, but as you would as a catcher, you would be sure that you've got them.
Yeah. So Karen Dale up to bat now. There's 2 outs and runners on second and third. For the Cats, Karen Dale smashes that ball left field. It's over the top of Meg Chaplin. She's looking for help. She was in pretty close to try and stop this run from scoring. Karen Dale is going to stand up at third for a triple. A 2-run shot to Dale. And the Cats go to an early lead here, 3-1. That was in her wheelhouse, Lee. She got all of it. Couple of bounces into the fence, and it was the centre fielder in Atkins having to come up with the play. Good cut-off play by Ballard, getting herself in a good position, but wow, Georgia Hood puts this one right in Karen Dale's wheelhouse there. It was off the bat. She liked it off the bat. She had a good look at that as she rounds first and second, and she is going to stand up at third.
It sounded beautiful, didn't it, from here?
Just off the bat, wow.
Whack.
Great shot, Karen Dale, to put the Cats up 3-1, bringing up Sally Colquist.
Another person can hit the ball
long. Who can also
long.
hit the ball there, yeah. And if she gets one in about the same spot as what Karen got it, the same result, no doubt about it.
I'll tell you one thing, Sally won't go down looking.
Fans at that one a little bit there for her first swing of the game. It's a 1-1 count. But yeah, don't pitch it there again to Colquist. She'll make you pay. Pretty low in the zone, and Sally didn't like that one, and maybe an argument there for just out of the. She's a little taller than most, but still called in the zone. A consistent zone from Bendel. I said that before, and a great change of pace from Georgia to end the inning with a strikeout. Is it the first strikeout of the game, Lee? I think it might be. But the damage was done. I mean, full credit to the Walkerville batters. We saw a shot from Sophie Roberts just fall short for Pippa Atkins, but that long ball to the fence from Karen Dale scoring the 2 runs. We've got the replay up here. Great shot. So an early lead to the Cats here, 3-1. So pretty high scoring, really.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise, I think. James keeps the season going full of surprises. I'll just go around the Walkerville lineup now, defensively. The battery is Sally Colquist to Hayley Benithan. At first base, Alex Basenko. Second base, Karen Dale. Third base is Sophie Roberts. At shortstop, it's Desi Giamarellis. And the outfield, left field, Lisa Yancey. Gabby Snyder is at centre, and Erin Reid is at right.
Thanks for that lead. It's still a surprise to me, Sally pitching. I mean, we're pre-Christmas, so what's the tactic here? Are we hiding your best pitcher from the team that you feel that you're going to be facing in the finals this early in the season, or is it a rotation? You know, keep the pitchers fresh. I mean, Walkerville have got a game on Wednesday night against Seacombe. But I mean, Gabby played college softball. She's used to throwing 4 games a day, 4 games a week.
Yeah, exactly. And these girls come from overseas, from the US, like Mackenzie Thompson
from Port Adelaide,
and Gabby, and also Vicky McFarlane. They're used to hard work. They
conditioned
play
players.
A lot of it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you mentioned Abby. She's up to bat now. Abby Ballard from Cooman Duke. Lee, I drove past there on my way to Canberra last weekend, and wow, what a commitment to this sport from this young lady, coming down each week to play for the Hills. It's a long drive, Lee.
Well, they say that and this is a true factual story, not one that I've made up, which is a refreshing change, that Cooman Duke was named by a Scotsman who had a dog called Duke. And he used to say, Cooman Duke. And you may laugh, fellow commentator, but that's the true story. So you can check that out. You can go to Google or other various
I'm going to check.
You can check it out.
I'm going to validate your facts here, Lee, because
and it'll
that
cost
sounds
you a dinner.
That sounds made up to me. It'll cost me a dinner.
Yeah.
Lee, you went to the South Australian Awards night last night.
Oh, paid in full.
Paid in full.
It was fantastic too.
Ballard chops at that ball up the middle. The youngest player on the diamond comes up with a shot, and Lee, I heard something about Abby. I heard that she didn't trial for under-17s because she probably didn't think she was there. But, wow, I've got huge raps on her. She's one of my favourite players in the comp, Lee. I shouldn't play favourites as a commentator, but she's up there as one of my favourites.
Well, the 3 lead-offs have got on so far.
Davis, Michelle Davis, hits that ball out to centre field. Aggressive hitting of the first pitch. But it was Schneider up for the task there. And, gee, haven't we seen some exceptional outfielding plays this year?
We certainly have.
Walkerville this time in Schneider. We've seen Michaela Robinson previously for the Cats. Emily Hopkins for the Hills, running back, taking some great catches earlier in the season.
Jenny Dunn.
Yeah. Jenny Dunn out at left field for Walkerville. Alex Basenko moves across the diamond and takes the catch. Meg Chaplin again, first pitch. Will be the second out of the inning and bringing up the game's original leadoff in Amber Hood. Now, that outfielding has been exceptionally so. We'll no doubt see them in play here with Amber Hood. She's been exceptional this year. She's got extra base hits. She's got stolen bases. She's got walks as well. She has been a complete hitter this season for the Hills. I mentioned her leadership. Let's see what she can come up with here with 2 outs.
And that's probably why she's playing lead off in this team.
Just chops at that one and comes off her toe. So Amber probably chasing that one.
Looking at Mum for a bit of sympathy. Not forthcoming, I might add.
No doubt about it. Tanya would be expecting her to bounce back here and get straight back on with the job, and that's what she does. She pushes that ball opposite field, but Erin Reid makes a good catch and stops the Hills' advancement in the second inning. It was Abby Ballard's hit, but in pretty quick succession, Walkerville Cats have been able to make 3 quick outs and end the Hills' second inning. So, well, they've got a bit of a job in front of them now. The Hills Heat, they need to defend and then they need to put some runs on the board. So, well done to both teams. We're expecting a competitive game, and that's exactly what we've got. I mean, a little bit more hits and runs than we were probably expecting, but it's been a good contest so far.
Yes, yeah, and it's surprising to me that Walkerville were in front by the 2 runs. So things can change quickly, as you would have seen with the Seacombe Hills game, when Seacombe had Hills on toast at 3-1. In came Hills in 1 innings.
Well, I watched
11 or 12 batters.
I watched that game on Spacequake Sports, Lee, as I was out of the state. But, gee, haven't we seen some great comebacks this year? I mean, we saw, although it wasn't on Spacequake, Sturt ran over the top of Seacombe in a tiebreaker. It went the full 7 innings and then into extra innings. We saw Port come back against West Torrens, and you know, last week we saw the Hills score 6, I think it was, in 6 or 7 in 1 inning, and so it's anyone's season, and that can be one innings worth of work, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
You can tell it can be the difference in a game, and so I'm sure Walkerville wouldn't be resting on those 3 runs. So
no, they'll
Lisa
keep
Yancey,
coming. They'll keep firing. This is Lisa.
another lefty in the Walkerville lineup. So Lisa won a B grade best and fairest a couple of years ago, and an accomplished player. Has played a handful of A grade games each season on and off for the last few years. Has a big cut at that one. You can see that she likes to get aggressive and after that ball.
It's just something about the left-handed hitters, James, that they all seem to have leg speed. Maybe just coincidence.
They're a metre closer to first base, Lee.
Yes.
There should be another base for lefties, I reckon. Pops this one up to shortstop. Abby Ballard has to negotiate the slight breeze that we have here, perhaps the afternoon sun, but very comfortably taken in the end. Well done, Abby Ballard.
It's looking all right there.
First out for the second inning for Walkerville. So Alex Pasenko up to bat. Lee, I had to go through a couple of archives during the week. Just a little bit of research for a funding application for Softball SA, and Alex's name popped up when we saw that she was a former Aussie squad member and a captain of a state championship winning team, so a national champion. Chops at that one and goes over the top of the pitch. Alex Mackey in time. So the second out is made. So, yeah, Alex, although that was about a decade ago, still an accomplished player, and you don't lose those skills, Lee.
No. You lose your fitness or your desire, I'd suggest.
All right, back to the top for Walkerville. We had Hayley Benithan. She had that great turn at bat in the first inning, Lee. It was, what we count out, 8 or 9 pitches.
Yeah, I think 4 of them at least came our way, James, just by protecting the zone.
Change of pace, but Benithan keeps her hands back and gets the ball to the outfield, and Michelle Davis takes a pretty comfortable catch in the end. So, couple of uneventful innings there, Lee, holding the score at 3-1, but Michelle Davis it was who made that catch, that last out of the inning, and she had a couple of good plays against Seacombe last week. She made a 9-3. Batters hate that when you've driven the ball hard through the infield and the the coaches love to see that. That's a coach's dream, to see a line drive to the outfield, and a ball went straight to her and went hard enough that she was able to make a play on Steph Hull it was, and robbed her of a hit just as Seacombe had a little bit of momentum. So she was a contributor in that game.
Yeah, she was. She swapped over from left field. She was playing at left field, and they made a change, I believe, and she took some good outs. She took one that looked like it was going to clear her, but no. So she's obviously got skill.
All right, just as we wait for catcher Hayley Benathan, she was the last out of the inning, so the catchers always are under a little bit of pressure to get their gear on and back out to the field pretty quickly. So let's go around the ground, the Diamonds today. The other game on Diamond 2 as we speak is Glenelg versus Sturt. Hopefully we'll get a score update at some stage during the game, but another 2 of the top 4 teams are battling it out at 6 o'clock tonight. It's West Torrens versus Seacombe. Now, West Torrens had an 11-day break. Sorry, not 18, 11-day break, and they came back and they were jumped by bottom side Glenelg. So they'll have the return of Lana Kaiser and Carly Allen, 2 experienced and very good hitters. And Seacombe, who are on the back of 2 losses and overrun in both those games. So it should be a good game. Pippa Atkins up to bat, pulls that one to the right side, and that's one of those hits we were talking about that perhaps if she was in the right-handed box, Lee, she may have come up short, but she made it across pretty comfortably to first base for a single, and a great way to start off the innings for the Hills Heat. Runner on base for one of the most dangerous hitters in the comp, Lee. I mentioned it earlier, Georgia Hood. Smashes that first pitch. So 2 pitches, 2 hits for the Hills. Oh, she's... Okay, that was unexpectedly. The ball went straight to centre fielder Gabby Schneider. We'll see the replay here. Hood hits it up to centre field. Schneider picks it up. Pippa took off. The play was at the base, so behind the runner. So, you know, they could have caught the defence off guard, but not this A-grade defence of the Walkerville Cats, as we see Perez go after the first pitch. So 3 batters, 3 pitches, 3 swings. This one's a foul ball, so she's still up to bat, but I think Pippa Atkins has tried to underestimated her opposition there, and she was caught short at third.
And caught short by plenty in softball terminology, but she looked like she started off a bit slower.
Well, so, she held up at the base, so she stopped first, so she momentum stopped, and then she tried to take off. So, I mean,
the ball was always
on
the deck. The ball was on the deck, so yeah.
And Perez watches the 3rd strike, a change-up through the middle of the box for the 2nd out of the game. Is that Sally's first strikeout, Lee? I don't think the batters have been going deep enough in the count to get a strikeout. They've been very aggressive here today, Lee. And now 2 outs, and actually just mentioned Georgia ran on the throw to third that got Pippa Atkins out. So she's at second. She gets a big jump off the base, and Hayley Benathan just says to Georgia in the way of a fake throw, I'm here, I'm watching you, you're not going anywhere, Georgia. Get back to your base. So runner on second, Emily Hopkins it is for the Heat. Pulls this ball to left field. It's going to fall short of Lisa Jensic. The runners hold up this time round, and well, that one went straight to her, so the runner wasn't going to score there. She wasn't too deep. So runners at the corners for the Hills. Not a bad shot from Emily.
Yeah. Not much you can do about that at left field. Just
that's
field the ball and
yeah.
just decent throw in. Nobody goes anywhere.
Met the ball on a merit. So runners on first and third for Alex Mackey. Watches that one on the outside edge for ball 1. So Sally's actually, she was the starting pitcher for the Cats this year. She'd thrown 27 innings before the start of this game for only 5 walks for the season, Lee. So she's done a great job. I mean, a 2.07 ERA as well is exceptional for this standard. So a Rookie of the Year from a couple of years ago, so she's a very capable player, and so really, my comments earlier of surprised to see Gabby Snyder not pitching. I mean, Sally's quite accomplished in her own
it's
right.
no discredit to Sally, but Gabby's got some tricks.
And low in the zone, so she's hitting those spots, Lee. They're vital, aren't they? I mean, if you can keep the ball on the edge of the plate, you know, the batters have to swing to stay alive in the count, and might miss hit like an inside pitch or reach for an outside one without power, and gets that one inside to Mackie, who fouls that one off. So just an example of what I was just talking about. If she can keep the ball just on the edge, it gives her field an opportunity to keep the ball into play.
Yeah, and the runner at first, Emily Hopkins, is going nowhere unless the ball's hit. So catcher Benithan just has to concentrate on the pitch here.
Well, Mackie gets a piece of that ball to shortstop. Gia Morellis looks for that easy out at second, but decides for the throw over to first instead, and retires the side. So the experience of Desi Gia Morellis. We normally would have seen her in the past in the outfield, maybe even at second base, but have you seen her play shortstop much?
Not over the years, but mainly a centre fielder or a second base player, but she's doing the job there. And
she's been amazing for the Cats this year, Lee. An unassuming player, and a generally or usually a partnership at second base with Sophie King. Non-fuss type players that just get the job done, and if you pay too much attention to the likes of Robinson and Schneider, you know, those two players, G. Morellis and King, will make you pay. You know, they've both got great bats, they've both got great experience, and both hitting, you know, over 400 as well. So
they have some flexibility in the infield, Walkerville, especially with now the advent of Hayley Benithan coming into the side, with Chelsea Robinson and the two you mentioned. So,
well, another player who's having a great season is Erin Reid. She's up to bat now, hitting 368 this season, and she's one of the team leaders with RBIs, Lee. And you know, that might have come from a game that she played a couple of weeks back, where I think she had 3 or 4 RBIs in the one game. So went 3 for 3 maybe, or 3 for 4 in the game. I'm just trying to recall the game, and
she was on fire.
Yeah, she certainly was.
And it's obviously the best that I've seen her bat for a couple of seasons. So full credit to her.
Yeah, and hitting what, 2 in the lineup. So let's see how she can go leading off this third innings. Chops at this ball and it's going to bounce in. So another hit for the season for Erin Reid, and her great season continues for the Cats. And Coach Tomlinson would be thrilled not only with her statistics for this year, but to get a lead-off shot.
Yes, and you wouldn't be playing her at batting position 2 unless you were contributing.
Of course, of course. So here we go again with Desi G. Morellis. Lays down a bunch, such a team player, versatile player, and textbook style, lays down that sacrifice bunt to advance the runner, and with the 3-4 batters, or the 4-5 batters in the lineup up to bat with 1 out, you like the Walkerville Cats' chances of scoring this runner.
Yes, I think so. And it'll start with this girl, because if she hits, it'll stay hit.
So Georgia Hood will be trying to stop that from happening, and fires that one in for strike 1. So Schneider a little more patient than some of the other batters we've seen today, getting after that first pitch.
Maybe experienced.
Puts that one on the outside, and great hands from Schneider. Will take off on the throw here and stand up at second. She's advanced the runner to third. She stands up at second, so Schneider getting the job done. Lee, that pitch was on the outside edge, and she's just pushed her hands to the ball, and that's terrific hitting, Lee.
I've seen her do it a couple of times this season already. She just keeps her hands back, throws her hands at the ball, lets the pitch do the work for her, and just sends it on its way.
Strike 1, first pitch for Sophie Roberts. She got the hit to centre field that Pippa Atkins just failed to reach in time to complete the catch, and that's what started that run for the Cats, I think. She scored one, and then Karen Dale, who's on deck now, scored those next two with her triple. So if Roberts can do the job again here with runners in scoring position, Walkerville with one out.
And then Karen Dale to follow, who came out with that triple.
Smashes it to shortstop. It's glove side for the left-hander Ballard. Chaplin has to come up with the throw, but she's played the wrong base. And the ball's just getting away from the Hills Heat. So Sophie Roberts pulls that ball to left field and scores 2 runs for the Cats. So runner still in scoring position. We'll watch the replay here. Roberts takes off on the throw to third, which was behind the runner going home, but in front of Roberts, who was heading to second. So 2-run score. Here we go from the reverse angle. Great pitch to get after down the chute. Great running from Schneider, who just took off on the throw. Well, you probably expect that from a A-grade player, a ground ball to the outfield. You're looking to score from second, and that's exactly what happened. So
I think the defence were unawares that they thought Snyder was going to pull up at first, I think. That's why they threw the ball to third, just to keep the ball ahead of people.
So first inning hero for the Cats was Karen Dale. She's up to bat now and has a go at that first pitch on the outside and looking like she was trying to go opposite to move that runner from second to third. So good team batting there, but it's gone foul.
Well, what she does this turn at bat will be a bonus here because Sophie Roberts has done the trick.
Yeah, so Amber Hood calling on the outside, so that'll work in her favour if she's trying to advance the runner hitting opposite field, but she doesn't want to call it inside because that's exactly where she hit that triple. High outside the zone for a ball, and gee, the score line in the bottom of the third lead of 5-1 is really looking great for the Walkerville Cats. Chops at that one opposite field. Davis gets under it. Roberts takes off on the catch, and exactly as I was saying, get the ball behind the runner, give them every opportunity to advance and or score. And you've got to say that Karen Dale's come up with 2 quality turns at bat today.
How are you going to keep her out of the team? Is my next question.
She's the B-grade coach, Lee.
Well, there's
so
one reason.
So she's got commitments elsewhere, but
Yeah.
I mean, your club's top team will call on you if required. So she's had a pretty good season so far. She's played in a couple of games. She took a knock to the head, going for one catch earlier in the season, and she's bounced back. She's filling in for when there's a couple of absentees from the Hills, from the Walkerville lineup. So who knows? She's a good little backup plan for Coach Tomlinson, no doubt.
Yep.
Colquist has a go at that one, fouling it off for strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
She'd be due for a long ball, Sally. It doesn't go many games before she puts one out there.
She's hitting .313 for the season, Lee, .563 slugging average. So she's obviously got the power for these extra base hits. Pops this one up. Abby Ballard has to move back out of the dirt and onto the grass. Takes another good catch. So unfortunately couldn't come up with the play earlier in the inning, but ends the inning with a good catch, but the damage was done, Lee. A 2-run shot to Sophie Roberts, and we've completed 3. Walkerville having that 4-run lead, 5 runs to 1.
Top 4, and we're getting through the game. Plenty of action.
You're about halfway through, exactly halfway through the 45-minute mark, and we've got an opportunity to mention our MC Sport, a terrific partner of Softball SA. They've signed out at centre field. It's a green and black bullseye. It's a bit of a promotion for MC Sport. They're going to donate a $50 voucher to their store for the first player to either hit the fence or the sign on the fall. There it is on the monitor. Hit the sign on the fall or a home run over the sign. So it's got to be over that panel. I mean, it is a bullseye after all. So it's terrific that they're showing more support.
So who's going to judge this? The commentators, James? Because we can be bribed.
Well, it'll be on a Spacequake Sports game, which we are on at the moment.
Oh, so
we'll be able to tell, Lee.
Okay.
Abby Ballard leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Hills Heat. Leaves that one low in the zone for ball 1, and it's time, Lee. I think, any more than, this 4-run lead and the Hills could be facing an uphill battle. I mean, they did it last week. They did come back against one of the star pitchers of the competition last week in Jade Peterson. One shy of that magic 100, Lee, 99 strikeouts she's got.
It's incredible, isn't it?
So she needs to get the Hills going here, Abby Ballard. Oh, high for ball 2, and she's got a hitting count now, 2 balls and 1 strike. Michelle Davis, the number 8 hitter for the Heat, on deck. Low, but in the zone for strike 2 to even that count. Now, Ballard got the hit up the middle last inning, or in her first turn at bat, which was in the 2nd inning. Swings at this one, pulls it to right field. Erin Reid continues her great season and takes a very good catch out in right field. So well done to Erin. She's contributing bat and ball today. It's her 3rd catch. Thanks for that, Lee. Well, Walkerville are really putting in a polished performance here. I mean, Hill scored the first run of the game with the first batter of the game in Amber Hood, getting that infield single, then scored by Georgia. And it looked like Hills were on, but full credit to the Cats. They've become solid in the field. They put some runs on the board with the bat and answered straight back as well with those 3 first inning runs and managed to score 2 in the 3rd. And they've been in control here, Lee.
Yes, they have. And have a look at the experience in the infield for Walkerville. Besenko, Dale, Colquist and Gia Morales.
So a check swing from Davis only manages to dribble the ball back to Sally Colquist, who is no slouch when it comes to fielding the ball. She gets that one across quite easily and in time to make the first out. So play there, 1-3, and that was Colquist to Besenko. So Meg Chaplin up to bat now for the Hills Heat. Watches that one for a strike. She flew out to first base, Besenko, at her first turn at bat in the 2nd inning, and she'll be looking to hit this one up the middle, no doubt. Outside for ball 1, so a 1-1 count for Meg.
Then we'll be at the top of the lineup again for Hills. Amber's 3rd bat.
Colquist delivers and fouling that one off just over the fence and out of reach for any of the Cats' defence. This is Meg's first Adelaide competition game for the Heat this season. Hills have had, quite a few players play for them this year, 1 or 2 games, but Chaplin gets at that one to second base. Karen Dale making that play, and that'll do it for the Hills Heat in the 4th inning. So a quick inning is exactly what Coach Tomlinson would have been after, and Walkerville Cats have got an opportunity to put a few more runs on the board.
Yes, it's they're in the driver's seat, aren't they, the Cats, and driving well. Full tank of petrol at this moment. batters 8 and 9 in the Walkerville lineup this time, and then we're back at the top with Hayley Benithan.
No doubt that assistant coach Andy Collett doing a fantastic job over there for Walkerville Cats, and as we see her across the diamond, saying hello to her opposition team there, the Hills Heat. She
very sociable lady.
Just passed our commentary position, brings some great experience, a premiership coach from Port Adelaide just a couple of seasons ago, and we saw her daughter play last season for the Cats, and now over at Morgan State University in Maryland in the United States. So a shout out to Steph Collett if you're watching. Hello.
Yes, hello from all of us, Steph. Yes, Andy, I remember coaching her when she was a young girl at Port Adelaide.
Lisa Yensick up for the Cats in the bottom of the 4th inning, and there's a go at that one, and Emily Hopkins will take the catch. So both teams not with the lineups that we're used to seeing. Emily, a centre fielder normally for the Hills Heat, but we see a straight swap over there from Pippa Atkins.
Yeah.
Normally playing first base for the Hills, and Emily now.
Pretty flexible player, Emily.
Yeah, well, she played a fair bit there for Seacombe last season. Was the starting first base for the team, for their best lineup, and. Well, she's had a great hitting season this year, so maybe giving her an opportunity. Basenko gets a piece of that ball out to left field, McChaplin, and good job from Basenko to get a good piece of that ball, and the tricky breeze here at West Beach has helped with Basenko's shot, just getting it out of reach of McChaplin, and she'll stand up at second base.
Yeah, I think the wind seemed to, well, affected any case. I don't know whether it took it over Meg's head. She looked like she had it covered. She didn't.
Walkerville leadoff. Hayley Benithan's got the task ahead of her to score the runner from scoring position, and Basenko on second, and Benithan up to bat. Low in the zone to even it up at 1-1. Had a walk in the first inning. Fouls that ball off. Well, another player that's been a dual representative in last Nationals earlier in January this year. She played 17s and 19s. This year just in the under-19s team as she's moved up the age group. Fouls that one off, and just slightly behind in the count, but we saw her long turn of bat in the first inning, so she won't feel intimidated at this stage. We're still giving her every opportunity to reach base here. So yeah, under 19s player this year, Hayley Benithan for the state team. Change up and back to Georgia Hood, checking that runner, make sure she doesn't go anywhere, and she just took a second to get a handle on that ball and getting that across to first base, and Emily Hopkins for the second out of the inning. And well, 2 outs now, and second batter in the order is Erin Reid. We saw her come up with the goods last inning. Bunted in the first as well, so she's having a good game. Leaves that first pitch high for ball 1. So a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Then she came in as a courtesy runner for Hayley Benithan and was the first run across the plate for the Walkerville Cats.
Yeah.
And 3 outfield catches, and then a hit last inning it was, and leading off the inning with a hit. So Erin Reid just seeing that one across for the first strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's 2 out in the bottom of the 4th. Strike 2 the call.
I'm watching identical pitches over then, I feel. She tried to get herself on here, so or at least put Alex on another base, and then we've got Desi G. Morales. So
little late on that one, but protecting her zone for sure. That was a little high, but probably still there.
Few of the balls coming this way today.
That's indicative of the pace of the pitch from Georgia Hood, no doubt. Reid fouls off another one in our direction for keep that count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner on second is Alex Basenko, so the outfielders will have the task of holding her or not allowing her to score on an outfield shot. So 2 out, of course. Chops at that one. Foul to keep the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the longer she can have a turn at bat, the less time they have to throw to the Hills hitters. Of course, we are getting through the game pretty quickly. We're approaching the hour mark. We're at the bottom of the 4th, and Walkerville in a commanding position here. High for ball 2, and what a good turn at bat. So fouling off those on the edge of the zone and leaves that one high for ball 2. She's really in the count now, Lee.
And they're making George throw a few pitches, maybe a few more than she wants to.
Low for ball 2, and Amber makes her work to get that one, but on the return throw. But well, we've seen that a little bit, Lee. The Hills pitching, they throw a lot more pitches than their opposition, and that is because their aggression in the batter's box. You can't argue it though, because they are sitting atop of the ladder at the moment. The Hills Heat on 13 points, equal with Seacombe. Of course, Hills have played 2 less games than the Tigers, and 1 point behind them are West Torrens Eagles and the batting team right now, the Walkerville Cats, who've played less games than anyone else, of course. But Erin Reid just watches that one go through the bottom of the zone, and that's a strikeout to Georgia Hood to end the 4th inning. So so nice pitching in the end from Georgia Hood, winning that battle. She's thrown 34 innings for the Hills this season, prior to this game, of course, with the 43 strikeouts, and she's got a couple today as well to add to that tally. So she's sitting second in the competition for strikeouts. It is, of course, Jade Peterson, Seacombe starter. She's thrown every pitch, though, for Seacombe Tigers. So whereas there's been 5 pitches for Hills Heat this season, and of course Georgia not able to play the Wednesday night games, and she's been great, hasn't she? The 17-year-old, it's her birthday this month, so she's just turned 17, and
big future, quality young player.
Yeah, she's throwing.
Can bat, hasn't she got some power in the batting box?
Yeah, so she's the all-round player, isn't she? She's fast around the bases. She's got a good glove in the field. She's a strong bat, and she's a powerful pitcher. So, yeah, I was just saying that the Hills' aggression, they're swinging first, 1 or 2 pitches. The first one that's in the zone, and then they're getting after it aggressive. So she's actually getting a fair bit of work this year, Lee.
Yep.
All right, back to the top of the order for the Hills Heat. And Amber Hood watching the first pitch for ball 1. Amber has been one of the more patient batters for the Hills Heat lineup. She's got 5 walks for the season so far, and the next closest is just the 3 in Alex Mackey. Low for ball 2. So Amber named earlier in the week in the Stars lineup, so one of 2 players to come up from the under-19s last year, Lee, in Tash Trapp. So never an automatic selection, but she did play for the Australian under-19 team at the World Championships earlier this year. So congratulations to Amber for making that team, and wish the Stars all the best in their tournament in early January in Perth. Pulls that ball straight to third base in Sophie Roberts. You like those as a third baser, 1 hop and straight into the glove. She didn't have to move, and just gets the glove to it and make the throw over to first for the first out.
Yep. Yes, you as you said, James, you love those coming to you like that. 1 bounce, no pressure, just catch the ball and execute a good throw. That's what happened.
Brackens up to bat, and she leaves that one inside for ball 1. So she had that nice shot to lead off the 3rd inning for the Hills. And then on the next batter, she took off for that to the third base, trying for that extra base. So a good aggressive running, but she was caught short this time. She pops this one up to centre fielder Gabby Schneider, who takes a good catch. So don't know the pronunciation, Lee, but I'll have a go. Dayton University in the United States. Gabby Schneider, and she was a pitching right fielder. Some impressive pitching stats, but she will hold school records for hits and extra base hits and RBIs, and
from what we've seen of her with her batting,
huge talent.
She's a huge talent, but she's a clever batter. You know, just throws her hands at the ball.
Well, speaking of talent and great batters, we just saw Georgia Hood, one of the league-leading hitters, come up with her third hit of the game.
3 turns at bat.
And where have they gone? One's gone to centre, one's gone to right, and the other's gone to left. Yeah, she's just so hard to defend, and she's got her third hit of the game. So pop up by Danny Perez. Alex Basenko gets across to the ball and makes the third out. That was very casual and confident in Alex Basenko, but she has the experience and the skill to be able to do that, and that ends the Hills' 5th inning. They're running out of chances. We're past the hour mark, and we've just 2.5 innings to go. The Hills Heat are in a bit of trouble because Cats are confident, Cats are playing well, they're hitting well, and they're leading 5 runs to 1.
Can we see another big comeback from Hills? Can we? Time will tell, James, but it's not looking too promising at this stage. Well, I think in the game, the 6 o'clock game tonight, West Torrens playing you, isn't it? Playing Seacombe.
Seacombe Tigers.
Yeah. Playing Seacombe Tigers. You will find a different West Torrens side out there that played on Wednesday night.
Against the Glenelg Rebels team, who had their first win of the season. So it was 8-3 in the end. So good on the Glenelg Rebels for getting the first win on the board. But they've had 2 draws as well, and their form on last Saturday was terrific against Port Adelaide, who are red hot at the moment, one of the form sides of the competition. Port Adelaide, of course, are the Hills' next opponent this Wednesday night. So not on Spacequake Sports, they'll be on Diamond 2. The Spacequake game is actually Walkerville versus the Seacombe Tigers. So
another good game.
The action continues here on Spacequake. With some great games, and what we thought might have been a tighter game, Lee, has turned out to, well, not all one-sided. I mean, the Hills have had a couple of good moments in the game, but Walkerville controlled it from the first batting inning.
Yeah, it's been comprehensive, I think, to this stage. It's certainly not what I would have picked.
So 3 balls for lead-off inning, or lead-off hitter for the inning in Desi G. Morales. High 4-ball-4. So, well, what is a contributing factor? Is it the cleats? Georgia, Lee, just a little bit of a funny one, has left her cleats at home. Maybe the Year 12 stresses or school stresses of university, of high school exams. She's heading home tonight, so it's just a day trip for the Hoods today, and she's got exam preparation. Maybe that has contributed to forgetting her cleats, and so she's borrowing a pair today, Lee.
I see. Well, that could explain something. I'm sure her mother will not be overwrapped about that.
Well, how many strikeouts has she had today? Just a couple. So, look, you can't say that it's a contributing factor. You've got to give full credit to the Walkerville Cats because they've been great. I mean, they've been patient. There's been a couple of walks, including Desi G. Morales, who got a walk to lead off this inning. They've executed their bunts. They've hit well. I mean, and they're hitting through the order as well. I mean, you've got a hit from number 9 hitter Alex Basenko. You've got walks and hits and bunts from the top of the order. But the power of the order, the 4, 5, 6 hitters have done the damage, haven't they? Sophie Roberts and Karen Dale. And this hitter, who's up to bat right now, Gabby Schneider, who's got herself into a good hitting count of 3 balls and 1 strike. She's got a walk and a single so far today. just leaves that one on the outside edge for strike 2. And she's got a full count with
Any
no
scores
outs.
from the other game yet, James?
Haven't seen anything yet. Running slap at that one at second base and puts the pressure on second baser Alex McKeek. What a great throw from centre fielder! But not in time. Desi Giamarella slides into third. Probably not expecting the play to come to her. As we watch this replay, centre fielder has to do the mopping up there. She did back up well. She fired across maybe a little high and wide. Desi Giamarella slides in safely to third, and on the throw, Gabby Schneider gets to second base. So with no outs, Walkerville with 2 runners in scoring position.
And threatening again big time here.
With the same batter up. So Roberts has RBI'd in both turns at bat so far. Although the ball was spilt by the centre fielder in Atkins in her first turn at bat, she still scored a run, and then her double scored 2. So Perez makes this play and able to hold the runner up. So good piece of the ball from Roberts though. It came off quite firmly. Danny Perez makes the play at third for the first out, holding the runners up so they don't advance from second and third. And now Walkerville have got 1 out, still with runners in scoring position. And how about that shot from Karen Dale earlier in the game?
Yes, well, a repeat of that, and
You shut the door. Yeah, it's so...
mishit from Dale to the outfielder score 2 because Snyder has huge speed.
Low pitch and confidently has a go at that one, and Dale is one of the most dangerous batters in the lineup. From experience alone, a former state representative, she's still coaching the Stars team as an assistant coach, and just great experience. And that one just getting away from Hood, but doesn't get past umpire Bendel. So perhaps
Did him a favour then,
some
didn't
luck
he,
there,
Mick?
yeah.
Yes. Sometimes it happens.
Oh, well, you can't do anything about it either.
No,
The umpire can't do anything about it, neither can any of the players. So outside for ball 2. So 2-2 count, and it's a nice little battle here. Dale had the sacrifice fly. Was it a sacrifice fly to, or move the base runner at least? Last turn at bat, and she'll have to take a seat on that one. Low and inside, but close enough to the zone for Bendel to punch her out there, Lee. A strikeout for Georgia Hood, and the second out of the inning. So not out of it yet. The Hills Heat gave up a couple of hits, or a walk and a hit in that early in this inning to put the runners in scoring position, and they remain at second and third for 2 consecutive batters. And Sally,
this could be the time when Sally goes the long shot.
yeah, well,
I can just feel it, James.
she may be due. She's hitless
due
today, but swings and misses at that one. So she is going with full intent. I did mention earlier that she's hitting 300, over 300, and so if you go by the stats, she is due for that hit. It's a piece of that one, foul, just over our head, Lee. Just keep your heads up for that one. And we've got a 1 ball and 2 strike count. Hood setting up slightly outside, but still in the reach of Colquist. Good play from the left-handed Ballard at shortstop, and throws it over to Hopkins, who made a good play in the end.
Yeah, she did.
It was a short hopper, and
it was in the dirt, but the one hopper, and Emily's played it first when she was younger a fair bit, so she got a good reach on it. So no more damage done that innings, though they looked threatening, the Cats.
So the Cats are still in holding a commanding 5 runs to 1 lead, and it's been terrific from pitcher, Sally Colquist, only giving up the 1 run. It was the first batter of the game, but you mean ever since then she's probably only thrown to, 4 or 5 batters at the most per inning. She's got out of a couple of innings pretty quickly and
been supported
she's been
by
great,
the field.
hasn't she? At the 70-minute mark and the top of the 6th, I haven't really seen any action in the bullpen yet from the Cats. If she gave up a couple of runs, would you be looking to replace her or just cross that bridge when you come to it?
Yes, when you come to it, I think. Because at the moment, 2 runs is a fair way off for the Hills team.
Well, they've got time. It's just the innings that they're running out of here. A quick inning here won't completely shut them out of the game, unless, of course, Walkerville come up with 3 runs. But they will definitely need to get a run here, you'd think, just to get a little bit of momentum.
Yes.
And Emily Hopkins watches that one through the zone, the bottom of the zone for strike 1. And low for
got that
ball
nice shot
1.
to left field last time, Emily.
Yeah, she pulled the ball to third base as well, which and she got on safely in the first inning to Sophie Roberts. But Roberts did the job holding up the runners in that occasion, but and no runs scored after that play either. But so she's pulled 2 balls to the left side. She's 1 ball and 2 strikes at the moment, and Benithan and Colquist would definitely be trying to keep the ball out of her wheelhouse there. That's got to be enough for a shot to left field. Probably off the end of the handle, Lee, but it was enough. She got enough of the ball to arrive safely at first and give the Hills a lead-off runner. So nice work from Emily Hopkins. She was behind in the count, protected the zone. Maybe a little bit of luck off the end of the handle.
Yeah, but now it's Alex Mackey. Alex hasn't got on at this stage.
Well, again, Lee, we've seen that bunt that's affected the play on the batter. Unfortunately for Alex, it's hit her as she's exited the box, and unfortunately that is out for the first out of the inning, and bringing up the left-handed Abby Ballard. Watching that one right on the inside edge for strike 1. So great pitch from Colquist there, getting the inside edge of the plate, but you saw the framing work of Benithan. She's such an accomplished young catcher, Lee.
She certainly is.
Age. It's very impressed with her performance today. That one is inside for ball 1. So the runner with a little bit of protection from the batter there, so you can take an extended lead off, and Hayley having a look over at first to see or make sure that Emily Hopkins isn't taking off too far. Squares up the bunt, going foul. So maybe a little bit of inexperience trying to make a surprise bunt there instead of a sacrifice. Unless that was the play, of course, and which we don't know, as I don't know Coach Hood's signals, but perhaps if she squared up a little earlier, she might have got a better read on that ball, but she's fouled it off for strike 2. So behind in the count, chops at that one, it's going up the line, Bassell. Well, that one straddled the line, and Basenko, of course, has the right to field the ball, but the runner also has to stay within that line. There's a 3-foot line. Geez, that is very close, actually, Lee. That's a good replay right here on Spacequake Sport. Time's been called. I don't think they're arguing the call, of course. But just time out to talk over a few things, make sure Basenko's okay, because she got collected here. Let's watch this one. It bounced fairly. Yeah, that's a tough call. I would say it's just crossed the line as the collision was made. My view was obstructed on that last view. And we are on the first base side, so the runner, the fielder, the ball, all at the same time, and so a pretty good call in the end.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Ballard.
It turned out to be the only option, surely.
So Ballard strikes out on a high pitch and on a good swing. I mean, it wasn't a terrible turn at bat, but that's the second out of the inning. So Michelle Davis up to bat here and hits this one first pitch to shortstop Desi Majumarellis and just tries for the close play at second, but unfortunately with the runner coming full steam ahead, the throw was probably a little low. As we watch the replay here, Davis first pitch. Giamarellis may have even been able to make that play on her own, but she's flicked that one a short distance, so it's just below knee height for the second base player. So unfortunately, the play wasn't completed by the Cats, and the Hills Heat have got a little bit of life. Runners on first and second with a 9-hitter.
Is this the innings from the green team?
Well, 2 out. We've got the top of the order coming up, so key batter here for the Hills, Meg Chaplin. Great catch. It was a great hit. Don't take anything away from Chaplin, and that would have been probably a hit for her in her normal competition in the Hills League, but we have been seeing some exceptional plays. It's not the first time we've mentioned it from the centre fielders of these competitions, and Gabby Schneider, in probably what is, the genius in Coach Tomlinson. She is a Hall of Famer for a reason, Lee, and she's made that call this week. That's Colquist pitching and Schneider in the outfield, and full credit to the Walkerville Cats. Their selections have been spot on today with a number of players missing.
Yeah, it's a good point you made about the outfielding. We've seen some terrific plays from centre fielders, especially this year. And dare I say that it's their leg speed that gets them to these catches.
Well, speed is a key to any good team, and we continue to see fast plays in this competition being dominant. I mean, you see the players of the likes of Brinket-Tree and McFarlane and Lambert are just dominant players for their teams, and now you can see how key it is for the centre fielders. I mean, these catches that have been taken and the ground that they're making up is tremendous. Athletic players in centre field can win you games, and even a young Georgia Hooper, who is a very athletic young lady, almost won Seeking the game when they played a couple of Wednesday nights ago against Sturt in a 3-2 victory, and she made some key plays. That centre field position, vitally important. Yes,
and most of the hits you're talking about, a lot of the hits have been really good shots, near enough the line drives.
Alex Mackey has to make this play up the middle. She knocks it down and then she picks it up and makes the play, and a sigh of relief, I think, maybe coming from the Hills bench there. It's
well, it's a simple action, isn't it? If you're playing at second, the ball's hit hard to you, knock the ball down, keep it in your area, execute a reasonable throw, and you'll get the runners, most runners, unless they're left-handed Snyders or somebody like that, or Brinket-Tree.
Well, she was in the left-handed box there, but probably hesitated a little as she saw the ball basically go straight to the second base. She took off, though, as soon as she saw she had a chance, and just fell short. Low for ball one on new hitter Alex Basenko. The two younger Ballard sisters just passing us now in the grandstand lead.
Oh, okay.
Abby's the oldest of three sisters, and the youngest daughter, geez, I apologise for not knowing your name. She is playing in the Hills under-13 team, but Georgia Ballard, who's in the state under-15 development team, is playing for Seacombe. So there's no under-15 team for her to play for, so she's playing for Seacombe. So family trip from Coombe Hello to Mr. and Mrs. Ballard. They're in the stand, so they can't hear me now. But
you need to check that up on Google or something. I'm Telling you it's factual.
Sanko hits it out to left field again, and this time Meg Chaplin takes a good catch out at left field. So 2 quick outs, and we will see, well, 1 more quick out, and we'll see a final inning, a 7th inning for the Hills Heat to get that opportunity, final opportunity to either tie or catch up. So, but Nathan is the leadoff for the Walkerville Cats. She hits it out to right field. Just a slight fumble from Davis, but she was going to be safe in any instance. Well, interesting situation we've got here. If Walkerville can hold up play or can manage to continue to bat for another 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, they won't go to a 7th inning because 90 minutes is the allowable time. They'll finish an inning if they start it, but they won't start a new inning with less than 5 minutes to play. So
yeah, good point, James. Very good point. Well, working on that theory, I don't think I'd be going for the first pitch.
Well, we're not seeing any gamesmanship at the moment from the Cats' dugout. They are in control of the game, so their confidence in their own players and their lineup would be there, of course, but they've used the catcher speed-up rule, so you know, they could have played a little cat and mouse and waited for it to be brought to their attention, but no fuss. And that's the Tomlinson way, isn't it? Let's get this game going. Let's keep it running, and she's going to back her side any day of the week.
Just keep doing what's got you into this position.
Swing and a miss from Reed. It's a 2-2 count now, and Lisa Yancic, it is the courtesy runner or speed-up runner for catcher Hayley Benithan, and might see some action on this pitch here. Chops of that ball going foul, and Erin Reid, who's had a pretty good game so far, she did strike out her last turn at bat, and that was looking on that low pitch on the inside edge, and she's had a hit and a bunt this game. Hopkins gets across and just fumbles the ball. Okay, so this plays in Walkerville's favour now. We've got 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Hills need to make this out, Lee. They can't mess around, and you can see the urgency in Amber Hood jogging back to her position as we watch the replay. Hopkins gets a glove to it, but mindful of maybe the shade. She came into the shade just as she came across, so chops at this one. Now, what a key turn at bat from Reid here with you know, a minute and a half away from allowable time for another new inning to start. So this needs to be a quick out. High for ball 3 and a full count. Look, if it goes to one more batter, they will have run out of time, one would think.
Yep, that's the go, and this is a terrific turn at bat, as you said, James.
So Reid gets her composure and takes a breath and strikes out, looking for the second time as the Hills Heat ran off, but umpire Bender has called time, and that'll do it for the game. So Walkerville Cats run out victors 5 runs to 1 in 6 innings here. What a great clash that was, Lee. We saw hits, we saw some terrific defence, and you've got to give full credit to the Walkerville Cats lineup. You would have thought slightly depleted with missing a few starting players, but they did the job, didn't they?
They certainly did, and we had plenty of action, and we went through 6 innings. Nearly went to the 7th.
So let's wrap this up here, Lee. We had a 3-run inning from Walkerville that was Karen Dale shot. How good was
long
that?
Ball, wasn't it? Hard,
long ball. She
hard
scored
shot.
2 runs. You know, great team batting display. I mean, you go through their entire lineup and you see hits from your Hayley Benithan, Erin Reid, Desi Morales got a walk and a bunt, Gabby Schneider had a couple of hits. Sophie got a hit. Sophie Roberts, Karen Dale had a hit. You know, they just hit through the whole lineup, and Alex Basenko batting 9. So a complete team performance from the Walkerville Cats. So congratulations to Walkerville running out victors here today, 5 runs to 1. And Lee, that puts them on the top of the ladder.
Yes, and they've got some games up their sleeve too.
Yeah, they play more games after Christmas than any other team. It is 10 games after Christmas, I believe. So
a fair few of those on Wednesday, I think.
Yes,
on Wednesdays.
Yes, and their next opponent is this Wednesday night, which will be on Spacequake Sports. You'll see Seacombe Tigers come up against the Walkerville Cats 8 o'clock this Wednesday night, and take nothing away from Walkerville, but the Hills Heat also showed some good signs, perhaps with a couple of players out today as well. But that was Georgia Hood's first loss of the year. She'd gone five wins and a draw so far this year, and so Hills have gone down for the first time on a Saturday. So you've got to give full congratulations and credit to Walkerville.
You can take nothing away from it. And Sally Colquist. Sally went the whole way, went the distance, 1 run only.
Terrific. Okay, so that wraps things up from Spacequake Sports and Softball SA. Walkerville Cats running out victors, 5 runs to 1. Other games today are Sturt and Glenelg, West Torrens and Sneakham, and we will give you further updates during the week. Like us on Facebook, Lee. Facebook page has got a comprehensive coverage of all the Spacequake Sports games, and you can see some other statistics and game reports if you like the page. Well, on behalf of Lee Hull, it's James Harris coming to you from West Beach and Softball SA. Thanks to Spacequake Sports for your coverage. Walkerville Cats, our winners today, 5 runs to 1.
Good afternoon, everyone.